Now, Cosatu has called for the removal of the Eskom CEO and the current board. This after Eskom Chairperson and Acting CEO Jabu Mabuza told Parliament yesterday that the power utility is expected to lose another 20 billion rand next year. For more on this, we're now joined via Skype by Matthew Parks, Cosatu's parliamentary coordinator. Mr. Parks, thanks very much indeed for joining us. Why do you want the Eskom board to resign as well as the CEO?
Thank you for having us. Look, at Cosatu, we're extremely worried for several reasons. First of all, Eskom is the biggest threat facing the survival of government. Our members who work at Eskom's jobs are at risk. And if Eskom implodes, the entire economy, with all 12 million workers' jobs, will be at risk. The Eskom board, led by Jabu Mabuza, has been in place for 18 months now. Yet to date, we have not seen a serious turnaround plan presented by the Eskom board on how will they stabilize Eskom, how will they grow it and resolve its issues. We were quite shocked that not only has Eskom lost 20 billion rand in the past financial year, but even now with all the government interventions and support, they're projecting to lose another 20 billion rand next year. We simply do not have the luxury of time to allow us to continue playing games at Eskom. We need a serious plan to save it, to stabilize it, to grow it, and so on. We don't really have confidence in the existing board led by Jabu Mabuza that they can do that. We welcomed Treasury's providing an additional 59 billion rand to Eskom for the current and the next financial year. But that's not a sustainable long-term plan. We need a serious plan by Eskom. How is it going to deal with issues? And to date, we have not been presented. I think the fact alone that we don't have a CEO at Eskom 5 months after the previous CEO resigned is an indication of a leadership crisis at Eskom. We simply cannot delay it any further. Parliament yesterday that government provided several conditions for the bailout plan for Eskom. We don't believe that this current leadership team has the capacity to deliver on those conditions.
Is it possible, Mr. Parks, that the task at hand is actually much bigger than anybody thought and that any board would still be in this situation?
We agree that the task is huge. It's the biggest crisis facing the state. Eskom's debt is about 450 billion rand and growing every month because they don't have money for existing operations. And that's for the very reason we need to get proper leadership in place. It's shocking that for 5 months we don't have a CEO at Eskom. We cannot afford to have a leadership ship at bay. And part of the issues that we are frustrated with Eskom's board and leadership is that they're not getting to the heart of the issue. We don't know to date how much money has been looted at Eskom, how much money is still being stolen on a daily basis. Being arrested at Eskom. We've not seen any of the stolen assets being returned to Eskom, with the exception of the positive progress that was made by the Minister for Public Enterprises on returning the 2 billion rand that was basically taken fraudulently in bank capital from the US. But beyond that, we don't see it. We've not seen a forensic audit done all of Eskom's finances to know exactly how much is being lost every month on wasteful expenditure, on corruption, and so on. We are now calling as Cosatu for that comprehensive forensic audit to take place as a matter of the highest urgency into all of Eskom's contracts, especially the coal contract. You would have seen in the media in the past week how many of the legally far above market rates by private speculators, private coal suppliers, and we're also told that many politicians and senior business leaders have their hands in those cookie jars. So you're not going to find a serious plan to solve Eskom's problems until you know where we're bleeding every month. We've not seen much action by them to reduce costs.
So, Mr.
We've not seen much action by them to provide job security and assurance to workers at Eskom who fear their jobs are at risk.
But Mr. Parks, the other side of this, of course, is that they have a huge debtors book. Municipalities just aren't paying. Whatever efforts they seem to try and do, Newcastle being a case in point, the courts are ruling in favour of those delinquent municipalities. What can the power utility do if they can't put pressure on municipalities to pay?
Well, in fact, there was a positive court judgment yesterday ruling against one municipality in KZN, if I'm correct, where the court judgment gave a compromise, which is a reasonable one, where that the electricity wouldn't be cut off to the town because you'll strangle that town's economy, make a problem worse. But at the same time, they compelled that municipality, which owes about 1 million rand, I believe, to start paying back 30 million rand a month. So that's at least one step in the right direction. And you're right. Eskom needs to deal with the issue of non-payment. There are about 27 municipalities throughout the country which are behind in the payments to Eskom, paying for their bills. You also have the political crisis of Soweto, which owes about 19 billion rand to Eskom. So government has to come to the party. We cannot have national and provincial departments not paying. We cannot have municipalities not paying. Equally, we cannot have Soweto not paying. So there has to be political will by government at all levels. There also has to be that will and compliance by consumers and by business. There was a positive where I believe one petrol station had its water cut off for non-payment to the city of Johannesburg. We need to see equally similar levels of discipline by government bills, because it can't be that people in Tabazimbi, in Bloemfontein, in Springbok pay,
we're going to have
but
to
some
leave it there.
communities, some municipalities, some departments don't pay.
All right. Thanks very much indeed, Mr. Parks. We're going to have to leave it there. That connection cutting out, but it's quite clear that Cosatu's lost faith completely in the leadership and the board of Eskom, demanding that they step aside and give somebody else a chance.